Hey, we're here for Come Follow Me again, and my insights, some of which may be interesting to you and some which might not, but you never know, right? So give it a shot. So we're in sections 60 through 62, so 60, 61, 62. Now we're going to start in 60, and so the missionaries that were called and had travelled, remember they were supposed to go by different pathways to get to where they needed to go, where they are right now in Independence, and they went different ways, and they were supposed to use their talents and preach the gospel as they went. So once they got there, they participated, as you can read in the section heading, which is what I'm looking at, participated in the dedication of the temple on the land site, and they decided to know what they were to do next. So they've got there, they've done the job they're supposed to do, they travelled on the way there, and the Lord's giving them this revelation, in which you will see some didn't quite do exactly what they're going to do, and then he's going to teach them about the decisions, and that's what we're going to focus on. So verse 2 is good, but I'm going to tie that in with verse 13 and insight number 2. So insight number 1, we're going to go to verse 5, which reads, "For verily I will speak unto you concerning your journey unto the land from whence you came." So basically, I'm going to talk to you about going home. He said, "Let there be a craft made or bought, as seemeth you good, it mattereth not unto me, and take your journey speedily for the place which is called St. Louis," which is Missouri, which is close to the border of going back home. So, did I look up something? I did look up how far it was. I didn't write this down for you guys, sorry. I did this for my class, so you guys in America will know how far this is anyway. To us down here, it was quite the, oh wow, that's quite a long way. Anyway, the point here is that there's two things they can decide in this. So the Lord absolutely tells them, take your journey speedily and go to St. Louis. So it's a very clear thing that the Lord tells them to do. The other thing he says is, let there be a craft made or bought, whatever fits you, right? So, when the Lord asks you to choose as seemeth good, either way is fine with him. So he doesn't mind if you're going to buy a craft or make a craft or borrow a craft or whatever. Just get it done, right? So sometimes the direction is made clear by the Lord, and other times he tells us that either is fine. So like in this case, yes, you need to go to Missouri and go quickly. And they decided that a canoe was best because they were going down the Missouri River, and because the Lord told them to take their journey speedily, that was the quickest way. And that was the quickest way to travel. So that's what he's telling them. So they're like, okay, but did he tell them where to go get the canoe, or how to, do it have to be a canoe? Could have been a big riverboat. The Lord didn't mind. It was like, look, whatever's going to work for you, you make it work. You go make your best judgment call, you make your decision, and it's fine with me. So there's been times in your life where, we need to use our best judgment given the circumstances and the experiences we have. And we can still, okay, so we still have, we can talk with others, we can counsel, like we've been talking about the last couple of weeks, that you need to go counsel with other people to figure these things out. It is good to talk to other people, to get clear counsel, to come to conclusions together. That is a good thing. And then go pray about it and see how you feel. So yes, we should do that. The Holy Ghost is still with us, guiding us, and if we're going to go down a path that's really not good, he's going to stop us and say, no, come back, So we're not going to muck it up. Now, we can do these things, we can make these decisions, and they can still turn out wrong. You know what? Because we're human, and we're young. And these guys were young. They'd already been they're very, very young. They didn't have the necessary experiences. They weren't riverboat captains. They didn't know how dangerous the waters were. They weren't so sure exactly what kind of canoe, and they don't know these things. So this is part of them learning and growing and figuring it out. So keep that in mind. If it goes wrong, which this does, if it goes wrong, it's actually okay, because it's part of you having that process of learning and growth. And actually a lot of the decisions you make are going to fail. And they do that for a reason, to teach you a whole bunch of stuff. And sometimes they're just going to fail because they're just going to. But what you need to do is use your best judgment call. And if that's only based on the knowledge and experiences that you have, it's not going to be the same judgment call that someone else would make. So it's okay to do that too, right? But yeah, It's all right. So anyway, Elder Bednar, he said, we need to appreciate that the Lord desires through his atonement and by the power of the Holy Ghost to live in us, not only to direct us, but to empower us. Now, part of that empowering us is for us to make our own decisions. So yes, the Lord can direct us, but he can't tell us every single little thing that we need to do on a daily basis. I'm not going to pray about what we should have for dinner. I'm praying that we have food, but what we have for dinner is kind of up to me. And sometimes in the bigger decisions, I pray about it, like when we're buying a car, should we buy this car or should we buy that car? And it's like, well, actually, both of them are fine. You decide. And I was like, that's a big decision because it's a lot of money and it could go really wrong and we might not like one of them after a while, and you really had to think about that. But we just had to use our best judgment call based on our experience, and actually either is fine. So keep on that. And don't be so hard on yourself if it goes wrong, because it does go wrong. I've got a wonderful friend who chose a course of study and passed a law degree. And then went, I want to be a lawyer. I want to be a teacher. So I went into teaching instead. And like, how's that going to work out? Was that a wasted 3-year degree? Was it? Maybe. But she needed to learn that. She needed to do that to learn that she didn't want to do it, to eliminate that from her life. And that was a process for her. It's different for everyone, right? So keep that in mind, that, when the Lord asks you to choose as seemeth good, he actually doesn't mind either one. That both are fine. And keep in mind that the Holy Ghost will continue to guide you in what is best for you if you really invite him into your life. And if you're going down that wrong path and it's just not working out, listen to those signs about correcting and course correcting and changing. So we're going to go... Interesting, we'll get further into the whole canoe situation as it falls apart. Yeah. And that's read in quite like there's the different journals and stuff. It is mentioned briefly in Come Follow Me this week, I think, but it's not really the point of why we're getting into that and studying it. But I will bring it up because it is interesting to see that even these young men made mistakes, and actually it was okay because the resulting necessary things from the Lord still worked out fine, and these guys were safe and they figured it out and it's all good. But we'll get to that, so stay tuned, because we're going to go over to verse 13, which kind of ties in with verse 3. See you there.